It's week 8, and you know what rhymes with week 8? Eliminate, and that's what both teams will be looking to essentially do to each other today, as the 3-4 Falcons host the 3-4 Seahawks, with the winner leaving at 500 and the loser leaving at 3-5 halfway through the season. Falcons opening drive facing 3rd and 7, and Matt Ryan fires over the middle to Calvin Ridley, who takes the catch across midfield for 26 yards on the 3rd down conversion. 3 plays later, again facing 3rd down, Ryan tries to dump to Devontae Freeman, but Bobby Wagner gets his hand in to knock away the pass incomplete. Falcons send out Giorgio Tavecchio for a 57-yard field goal to prove kick accuracy doesn't matter, and Exhibit A is up and good, finding itself in the net as Atlanta takes a 3-0 lead. Seahawks first turn now, and on 3rd and 4 near midfield, it's Russell Wilson with the play fake, looking to throw before being engulfed by Tyler Davison for the sack, forcing a Seattle punt. So right back to the Atlanta offense we go, and on 2nd and 3, Devontae Freeman takes the give right up the middle for 14 yards near midfield. Then just across midfield now facing 3rd and 5, and Ryan finds Austin Hooper for 9 yards to move the chains. And once again facing 3rd down, Ryan hearing footsteps and unloads quick to Calvin Ridley, who gets tackled well shy of the marker. Falcons again send out Tavecchio to prove kick accuracy doesn't matter, and Exhibit B couldn't be more perfect, and the Falcons take a 6-0 lead. Then to end the first quarter, the give goes to J.D. McKissick, who has a huge hole before getting blasted. Ball comes out, but David Moore's there to pick it up for a Seattle first down. Then to start the second, it's Rashad Penny this time, who has another big hole, and his first carry goes for 17 yards and another Seattle first down. And 2 plays later make it 17 more as Wilson fires quick to Terrence Williams on the slant, who takes it down to the Atlanta 25. Where on the next play, the chains move again as Wilson fakes, rolling to his right and finding David Moore for 15 yards just outside the Atlanta 10. And after a false start pushes Seattle back to the 15, it does not matter as Rashad Penny takes the give off the left side, twitching back and forth on his way to the 15-yard score, and Seattle has their first lead of the day at 7-6. Falcons trying to regain the lead, and on the 3rd play of their drive, Ryan fakes and fires over the middle to Julio Jones for 18 yards across midfield. 3 plays later, and facing 3rd and 2, Ryan fires to Mohamed Sanu, who can't hang on to the catch, but have no worries as Giorgio Tavecchio comes out again for Exhibit C, and his 3rd 50-plus yard field goal of the half gives the lead back to the Falcons as they go up 9-7. Ensuing drive, Wilson drops the throw and has great protection, but just can't resist the urge to throw it right to Deuce Douglas. Deion Jones picks off the pass, and the Falcons are right back in business, setting up shop at the Seattle 35. 3 plays later, and the Falcons are at the 20 now, where the give goes to Brian Hill, who takes it off the left side with a lot of room to run, stiff-arming his way down to the Seattle 1 and setting up 1st and goal, where 2 plays later, it's Devontae Freeman this time running through a tackle and into the end zone from 2 yards out, and the turnover turns into 7 points for the Falcons and extends their lead to 16-7. Just before half now, Seahawks pin deep and looking for points as Wilson dumps short to J.D. McKissick, who picks up 16 for a first down and a Seattle timeout. 2 plays later, clock's running, and Seattle enters Atlanta territory as Wilson finds Ed Dixon over the middle for 17 yards. Seattle chooses to save their timeout, rushing to the line again, where Wilson finds J.D. McKissick for 15 more. Seattle uses their last timeout to send out Jason Myers, and from 51 yards out, he's able to slice it through the uprights, and we head into the break with Atlanta leading 16-10. Second half now, 2nd and 5 for Seattle, and Russell Wilson with the play fake and finds a wide open DK Metcalf in the cover 2 void for 36 yards into Atlanta territory. 2 plays later, 2nd and 11, Russell Wilson pumps, and it's Terrence Williams wide open this time on the wheel route for 31 more yards. Then facing 3rd down from the 7, Wilson throwing again behind good protection, but then spins like a ballerina before being dropped for the sack by Adrian Claiborne. Jason Myers is sent out, and he connects on the 31-yard field goal to make it 16-13 and cut the Atlanta lead to 3. First play of the ensuing drive, and Devontae Freeman has a huge hole as he comes up just shy of the marker. Then next play, it's right back to Freeman, who picks up the first down and 15 more, taking Atlanta right to midfield. But you can only play Bobby Wagner for so long before the hit stick strikes. Austin Hooper fumbles, Seattle recovers and takes over at their own 36-yard line. And 2 plays later, Wilson throwing, and he gives it right back to Atlanta as Kendall Sheffield picks off the pass, and the Falcons take right back over at the Seattle 42. And Atlanta wastes little time as 2 plays later, Ryan throwing and floats to Austin Hooper, who gets some redemption for his fumble as he makes the 22-yard catch But then on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan throwing again, and the Seattle blitz gets home, and Shaquille Griffin drops him for the sack. So make it 3rd and long, where Ryan just dumps quick to Julio Jones, who picks up 11 but is well shy of the marker. But the points are preserved as Giorgio Tavecchio puts through his 4th kick of the game and pushes Atlanta's lead back to 6. First play for Seattle, and Wilson throws quick to DK Metcalf, who drops Jordan Miller like a bad habit, and he's off to the races, where Keanu Neal eventually chases him down, and the 58-yard gain has Seattle threatening again. And 2 plays later, it's J.D. McKissic taking the inside give right to the marker, but can't get enough to move the chains, so make it 3rd and 1, where McKissic is bottled up this time, but gets just enough to make it 1st and goal. 4th quarter now, 2nd and goal, and it's once again McKissic who gets 6 before being blasted down at the 3. So 3rd and goal now, where Wilson looking to throw, but David Moore can't haul it in, and it falls incomplete. Seahawks keep their offense out there for 4th and goal, where the give goes to McKissic, and he's not gonna get there, and the much maligned Falcon defense stands tall and keeps Seattle out of the end zone to preserve the lead. Atlanta trying to keep the ensuing drive alive, and will do just that, with Freeman pushing his way to 4 yards on 3rd and 2. Then facing another 3rd down, it's Ryan throwing this time and finding a wide open Austin Hooper for 8 yards to convert. 3 plays later, 3rd down one more time, and everything going right for Atlanta as Hooper hangs on to the 17-yard catch to move the chains again. And on the following play, the Falcons skip the 3rd down. Dramatics firing a screen out to Calvin Ridley, who uses his blocks and has a huge gain of 31 yards deep into Seattle territory. But 3 plays later, right back to 3rd down, Ryan with lots of time to throw and fires towards the end zone, overthrowing Mohamed Sanu, but a flag comes out, and a very questionable pass interference call gives Atlanta 1st and goal at the 1, where on the next play, Ryan throwing again and finds Julio Jones in the back of the end zone for the score. Atlanta's 2-point conversion is no good, and the Falcons lead 25-13. So Seattle down 12, needs points fast, and facing a 3rd and 13, Wilson goes deep for DK Metcalf, who skies up and appears to make the catch. Falcons challenge, and one more time you can clearly see his heel come down out of bounds, but once again, the rules, the call stands, and it's a 35-yard gain for Seattle. 2 plays later, Wilson throwing again and throws it right past Deion Jones to Ed Dixon for 16 more and another Seattle 1st down. Then next play, Wilson with the play fake, rolling to his right and finding David Moore for 13 yards to give Seattle 1st and goal. 2 plays later, the give goes to McKissic, who could walk in but runs right into the Atlanta defense to make it 3rd and goal at the 1. And inches away from a touchdown, the Seahawks throw, and Bruce Carter levels DK Metcalf, forcing the drop pass and bringing up 4th down, where Seattle gives to Jalston Fowler, and he's destroyed behind the line for a turnover on downs. Seattle gets it right back, but the Falcon defense continues to punish as Deion Jones drills David Moore, and the ball falls right into the hands of Keanu Neal for the interception to officially wrap this one up. And the Falcons defense gives up nearly 500 yards of total offense, but forces 3 Seahawks turnovers and comes up with 2 huge 4th quarter goal line stands to win this one 25-13. Seattle falls to 3-5 on the year and will need a strong second half if they want to make the playoffs. Meanwhile, Atlanta moves to 4-4 heading into their bye week before starting a run of 5 straight division games that will make or break their season. All right, guys, so we bounce back and pick up a really nice win there. Our bipolar defense steps up to make a pair of 4th quarter goal line stands. We pick off Russell Wilson 3 times and finish the first half of the season at 4-4, which isn't great, but considering the 0-3 start, it's good to get back to 500, and that was a huge win to make sure that we weren't 3-5. And on top of that, we haven't even played a division game yet, so this is where things are really going to start to heat up. But following this game, we did have our bye week, so the second half of the video is going to be a little bit different, as we have both week 8 and week 9 to go over. So starting with the team stuff and scouting, again, no draft stories or tweets, so we go straight to the draft board, where over the 2 weeks we added 4 defensive players, starting with cornerback Matthew Green out of SMU, and he's a 4th round projection but a 2nd round true talent. Then below him we have 3 4th round projected middle linebackers in Clint Gerard, a 6th round true talent out of NC State, and then Kalik Wofford from Oregon and Javon Hewitt from Stanford, both of which are undrafted true talents. Moving on to negotiations, we start with defensive tackle Jack Crawford, who I withdrew negotiations with. As mentioned before, we're pretty much strapped on cash, and he's 30 years old and not really getting any better. So as we look to improve the defense, he's the type of player that we're looking to move on from. Next up is middle linebacker Bruce Carter, and it's a similar situation here at 31 and a 69 overall. It just doesn't make much sense to keep him around when I can get an undrafted free agent or just someone younger in free agency that's probably cheaper and good enough to fill the same role. So again, negotiations were withdrawn. Then lastly here is safety JJ Wilcox, who you guys haven't seen at all this year because he's been on injured reserve, and I tabled negotiations with him for that exact reason. I don't really know how he plays, and so I'm going to wait until the end of the year and see if there's a spot for him, but as of right now, it's probably not looking like it, as I've already got Kamal Ishmael, and Wilcox might not be needed heading into next season. On to player upgrades, where we had 3 players to upgrade over the 2 weeks, starting here with Deion Jones, who goes up to a 91 overall with 1-point upgrades to acceleration, block shed, play rec, pursuit, and tackle. Next up is wide receiver Justin Hardy, who goes up 1 for catch and traffic, release, and short route running, and then +2 in spectacular catch. And then lastly is cornerback Jalen Myrick, who goes up 1 in agility, tackle, and zone coverage, and up 2 in man coverage. But that covers the team stuff, so let's go around the league, starting with Week 8, where the Vikings lost 2017 to the Redskins on Thursday night. Then on Sunday, the Bucs take down the Titans, Cardinals drop the Saints, and Rams beat the Bengals. Jets pick up an OT win over the Jags. Eagles win by 3 over the Bills. Bears win a wild one over the Chargers, 42-37. Lions beat the woeful Giants. Texans hammer the Raiders, and Panthers hammer the Niners. Tom Brady and the Patriots beat Baker Mayfield's Browns. Broncos go to Indy and pick up a 34-31 win. Then on Sunday night, the 1-6 Packers upset and dominate the Chiefs at Arrowhead, while on Monday night, the 1-5 Steelers also pick up a win, hammering the Dolphins 38-8. The Week 8 Offensive Player of the Week was former Clemson and current Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. The former first-rounder was 26 of 33 passing for 386 yards and 4 touchdowns as his Texans defended their home turf by obliterating the Raiders by a score of 35-10 in Houston. On the NFC side, it was the man taken 10 spots ahead of Watson in the 2017 draft as Mitchell Trubisky takes home the award. Trubisky was 32 of 40 passing for nearly 400 yards and found the end zone 5 times to help the Bears to a 42-37 win over the Chargers. Defensively, the AFC Player of the Week comes from that same game as Thomas Davis of the Chargers takes home the Week 8 award. The 15th-year linebacker picked up 9 tackles, all of which were solo, and picked off NFC Offensive Player of the Week Mitchell Trubisky in their loss in Chicago. And then lastly for Week 8, it's Trey Waynes winning the defensive award for the NFC. Waynes was in on 7 tackles and returned an interception, 21 yards for a touchdown. However, it wasn't enough as the Vikings offense only put up 10 points in their 2017 Thursday night loss to the Redskins. On to Week 9 we go, where on Thursday night it was the Cardinals dropping the 49ers 38-21. Jaguars beat division rival Houston 35-14. Eagles maul the Bears. Steelers pick up another win, beating the Colts 24-10. Dolphins ground the Jets 14-9. Chiefs bounce back from their terrible loss to the Packers to beat the Vikings 21-14. Panthers handled the Titans. Redskins eke by the Bills. Bucks do the same over the Seahawks. Raiders win by a field goal over the Lions, while the Chargers do the same over the Packers. Browns buck the Broncos 24-17 at Mile High. Then on Sunday night, the Patriots beat the Ravens 27-21 in overtime. And capping off the week, the Cowboys dropped the dreadful Giants 24-17 on Monday night. So as we take a look at the standings, the Patriots got off to a slow start, but have won 3 in a row and have firm control of the AFC East. AFC North is going to be a bloodbath to the finish, with the 6-2 Ravens at the top and the 5-3 Browns and Bengals right behind. In the South, the 5-4 Jags lead the way, with the 4-4 Colts only a game back. Then out west, the Chiefs and Chargers remain neck and neck at 6-3, while the Broncos and Raiders try to claw back to 500. On the NFC side, the East has 3 teams over 500, with the 6-2 Cowboys up by a half game over the Redskins. In the North, it's between the Lions and Bears, who are both 5-3 and well ahead of the Vikings and Packers. The Buccaneers continue to win and finish the first half 6-2 and are a game ahead of Carolina and 2 up on us. Then out west, the Rams are in first place at 5-3, with the Cards just a half game back at 5-4. The immortal Tom Brady is your Week 9 Offensive Player of the Week for the AFC. Brady threw the ball 52 times, completing just over 65% of his passes for 381 yards and 3 scores as the Patriots win into Baltimore and knocked off the 6-1 Ravens 27-21 in overtime on Sunday night. As for the NFC, for the second time in 3 weeks, it's rookie number 1 overall pick Kyler Murray taking home the award. Murray was 21 of 28 passing for 373 yards and only 2 touchdowns through the air, but added another 2 on the ground as his Cardinals easily defeated the 49ers 38-21 on Thursday night. From a rookie to a 14th-year veteran, it's Lorenzo Alexander winning the Week 9 AFC Defensive Player of the Week. The 2005 undrafted free agent from Cal was in on 7 tackles with 1 going for a loss and dropped the quarterback 3 times in the Bills' 31-28 loss to Washington. Meanwhile, for the NFC, it was Cowboys defensive end Tyrone Crawford taking home the award. Crawford notched 6 tackles with 1 behind the line of scrimmage and dropped Eli Manning 4 times on Monday night as the Cowboys came away with a 24-17 win in New York. On to the league leaders, starting with the passers and AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Tom Brady takes the passing yards lead with 2,663 yards through the air. Andrew Luck holds the top spot in passing touchdowns alongside Drew Brees with 21 scores. And then taking the passer rating lead from Andrew Luck is the Cowboys' Dak Prescott, who now holds the top spot with his 127.6 mark. Moving to the rushing leaders, and it's more Cowboys here as Ezekiel Elliott continues to lead the rushing yard category with 953, and Alfred Morris continues to hold the lead in rushing touchdowns now with 7, and then still leading in yards per carry is Rams running back Todd Gurley, who is averaging 6.2 yards every time he touches the ball. Our tight end Austin Hooper had 12 catches against the Seahawks and takes the top spot in receptions from Julio Jones, who still holds a comfortable lead in receiving yards with 956 on the year. Then tied with Michael Thomas and appearing on the leaderboard this week is Keenan Allen, who has 8 receiving touchdowns. And wrapping up here with the defense, Deion Jones is 1 tackle shy of triple digits and leads the league. Everson Griffin takes the top spot in sacks from Cameron Jordan and leads the way with 9. Then lastly for interceptions is Dante Jackson, who is tied among many others for the league lead with 3 picks on the year. Looking forward to Week 10, there's 13 games starting with the Chargers-Raiders on Thursday night. Ravens head to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals in a big AFC North game. Browns host the Bills, Panthers head to Green Bay, and we head to New Orleans for our first division game of the year and a chance to all but destroy the Saints' playoff chances. Lions and Bears face off for first place in the North. Giants-Jets face off in a Big Apple battle. Kansas City heads to Tennessee looking to avoid another upset. Cardinals at Bucks, Dolphins at Colts, and Rams at Steelers. Vikings head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys on Sunday night, and then on Monday night the Seahawks take their 3-6 record to Santa Clara to take on the 2-6 49ers. But that's going to wrap up both Week 8 and Week 9 as we finish the first half of the season at 4-4, and this is where the season really is going to start as our next 5 games are all against our division, starting with the Saints in New Orleans next video. Hope you guys are enjoying the franchise series thus far and looking forward to what's to come in the second half of the season. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next time.